JR just
Yeah.
drops all this information. I can't handle this. Welcome.
Yo. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Thrive By podcast. We actually came up with a name officially. Because we didn't say it.
We didn't have it yet.
Yeah. We didn't talk about it in 1 and 2, but it's official. Look, we got a nice logo.
We have us.
Yeah. Shout out MK Labs. We're in San Diego this time in comparison to Burbank.
Yes, and shout out to Semenekis too for hosting us the first time. That was
you
great.
right. You right.
Yes.
Yeah. So we started it off, and it's actually super nice that we get to actually take it home too, because that commute all the way to LA, that was
Oh my gosh, I know.
that was hard.
It was worth it, but it was worth it.
Yes,
It was
yeah,
worth
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It was a great crew, great setting, but we are happy to be here back in San Diego
Yeah,
with
yeah.
MK. So thank you, Christian and Stephanie.
Yes, thank you so much. It's a beautiful studio. This is actually so nice because there's a nice coffee shop that's right down the street if we need to get some caffeine.
Exactly. And next door.
Yeah.
So yes, this is the Thrive By podcast. I'm Kirin.
And I'm JR. Yeah.
Should we go ahead and start with an update on the GERM documentary?
Yeah. Shout out everybody. Thank you so much. Because we just did the Seed and Spark campaign. For GERM. Like I honestly I didn't expect it. Shout out to the production team, John, Fiona, Selena, Marques, EJ for the social media. Like everything about it. There's like a whole team that's behind it. I actually did not expect it to blow up like that. Yeah. I mean, I had a feeling that people were gonna relate with it for sure, but just that time period for the campaign, it was pretty nerve-wracking. You know, like I just don't like asking people for like donations and things like that, but just the amount of people that came through, it just meant a lot. You know,
What was the goal again? So we had, what was the time frame that we had to raise 15,000?
Yes.
Right. So it was either 15,000 and or
so
500 subscribers.
Yeah. Actually, so it was supposed to be 350 followers on the Seed and Spark campaign website.
Okay.
So 350 plus 15,000. And it was supposed to hit like 80% of that goal, so 12,000, right? In order for us to be considered greenlit, so that the documentary goes into the Seed and Spark with all the benefits and everything like that. Right. And it was so nerve-wracking. Like, all right, so honestly, when it came to that campaign, I never went through all these different types of emotions from it. You know, like you're just kind of like expecting yourself to, you're expecting yourself to run with this campaign. I've never done anything like this, and especially at that capacity where it's like it's representing me, my family, the story, and everything like that. Then asking people for support, it's like it's one thing like dropping like what John had created with the sizzle reel, but it was like intimidating, you know. Like, all right, so when the whole Seed and Spark campaign happened, plus the trailer, plus the Instagram page, like, I just assumed that it was just going to be the sizzle reel. And the sizzle reel, like, oh, shoot, this is like John's work, plus like the story of like myself, my family, and everything like that. And I watched it like that get in production for like a year. So I was like, oh, I know this is going to do well. But when it dropped, it brought a lot of different emotions, like positive and also a lot of negative ones too. Yeah. And for me, I always bring up like, bro, I got hella anxiety about things, you know? So
well, let's pause that for a second.
Yeah.
I think first of all, take a break, take a breath.
Yeah.
Because I remember we talked about this. You brought this up to me 2022.
Yeah.
Again, the first idea for the documentary, right?
Yeah.
We're in 2025 now. 3 years later, you all have done 1 or 2 years worth of interviews with with your family, and all of that. You have the sizzle reel. Well, first of all, can we, for the folks who don't know, because I did not know, do you want to define the difference between a sizzle reel and a trailer? Because we were dropping both terms in the second chapter, and I feel like folks were like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
You want to pause and talk about that real quick?
Yeah. Just real quick, because I didn't even know what a sizzle reel was. I thought it was just the trailer. But I think the way that I see the sizzle, it's like a showcase of what the production team is capable of doing, plus what the story's about. And so this is like not the trailer. This is like a preview and a showcase of what
of the whole effort, as opposed to just a documentary.
Exactly. Okay. So later down the line, after production, and we get more like footage and what it is that they do, then it's actually going to be a trailer. So it's going to be way more advanced than what it looks like now.
Hey, that's a trip because people are already reacting to it in such a strong way, and that's not even the trailer yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and that's like the blessing of it, right? So like the core. But I think honestly, when I go back to like the whole process of this campaign and why it was like so many ups and downs for me personally,
right?
Because it's in the public's view now. And there's a social media page, and it's a trip to see. Dude, my eldest brother has an Instagram page. Instagram didn't exist.
Like having to see his face so much.
Yeah.
In a way. And actually, you know what? If we can rewind that a second, I wanted to ask you, because we're talking about the sizzle reel now that it's already dropped. But we didn't even touch in the first 2 chapters. We didn't even touch yet on the process of making the documentary for you.
Yeah.
So I'll fast forward because I want to touch on the conversation we had a couple of weeks ago where you were like, out there, I just need to check in real quick.
I'm freaking out out there.
I'm freaking out.
I need advice.
All this stuff with my career, all this stuff going on with the documentary. Yeah. But maybe before we hop into the campaign, how was it making the actual documentary for you? Like how again, I'll say it again. I loved how involved your family was. I love how candid your parents are, your other brother. And how everyone was just very real about the experience and how they're still feeling today. But I'm sure that's a lot because even this podcast, I'll admit to you, it's a lot for me.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No, of course. It's a good thing, but it is a lot of energy to relay stuff that you've been experiencing for the past how many decades of your life. So just even making the documentary, how do you, now that you're still making it, but now that you're at this phase of, you have a sizzle reel that dropped, you have this successful campaign, you met an exceeded goal, but how was it just even sitting down, looking in the camera, like talking about your brother, sitting with all your cousins, sitting with your brother? How's that?
All right, so first things first, anytime that it's in front of a camera and the idea of getting it out to the public like that, it's nerve-wracking. So the layered piece that I personally had dealt with was trying to almost convince my family, hey, I'm making a documentary.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, how did that go?
There was a lot of questions from my family at first, like, how are you making the documentary? Is it going to be about gangs? And typically, like when it comes to gang documentaries, quote unquote, and this is not a gang documentary,
right?
But of course, the topic of GERM and his life is centered around gangs,
right?
And so, when I was asking like my families, they were like, "What is it that you're trying to do with it? Like, are you going to bring up the gangs? Is it going to cause up like any issues or like old sets or old like his old enemies or whatever the case that may look like? Is it going to cause up like any issues?" And I had to like explain to them. And plus, they've known my mindset for such a long time, like ever since like I, went to college, got my career and everything like that. They know that I'm on track with things, but and they know that like I try to have like good intentions and represent them like well. And it took me explaining, I'm like, it's not about gangs. It's honestly like, I think this is going to be something that's beneficial for the community, that there's going to be people that relate with it. Then they've never had that opportunity to even think about that. They just let it go. And I just truly had felt that, feel like this might be that pathway. I know it's been done, in different types of like ways, but I feel like this is going to be something that we could represent that. And so the first interview that we ended up doing was actually with my cousins. So it was my cousins and my auntie. Okay. And they were like cool with it because they're super supportive like with it. But it gets a little bit more personal when it comes to my parents and then my other brother Jojo. Right. And so my cousins were cool with it, and I just let them know, I'm like, this is the intentions of it. Don't bring up any sets, don't name anything else. Don't say anything that you don't want to, of course, but I do want to ask questions about like, what was your experience about it? Like the raw emotions of it. Because I set it up like that with them because I think throughout my whole life that I never was really interested too much on like whatever bad shit that they went through. It was more so like, so what was it like? Why did you go through all that stuff? Like, why did you choose the gang life in comparison to all the other opportunities that we may have? Like, because like for my cousins, for example, they just came here from America. Like,
Right.
why was that the lifestyle? And every time that we talked like off camera, they would just be real with me, like this is just how it was, and da da da, right? And
Had you had that conversation with them prior to this process?
not so it was just throughout the years that I would always have that combo.
Yeah.
But through when we had the actual interview, it was just like just pretend you're just talking with me. The camera's here, obviously, all these fancy lights and the two big ass cameras, and but it was really just just relax and just talk with me on this. Like, of course, we're gonna be filmed, so whatever it is that you feel, but feel comfortable with me on this because you're talking with me. And then they were just able to express it, and that was nice. Next up was my parents.
Yeah.
Right? My parents, my mom's hella nervous. What do I say? She wrote like a whole like, oh, this is what I'm gonna say, like
She
a
had
speech.
a script for herself.
Yeah.
Aw.
I was like, oh, nah, ma, it's not even like that.
Right.
And yeah. So at first, my mom was like hella nervous because obviously, but when we started getting a little more comfortable, that's when she was able to express it more. Like, I wish that she was able to express like more so, but for the most part, when the whole document comes out, you'll see what it is that she's mentioning.
I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Because even the one line that she had was so powerful.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I remember I remember just setting that up. I was talking with John about that. I'm like, I remember when me and my mom found that, and that was like one of the first things that I had spoken with John about. I'm like, my parents, like, they have a lot to say. They just never really said it. Mm-hmm. But anyways, the other one was my dad. Mm-hmm. My dad, I never set anything up. The only thing was that because he was pretty like reserved. He don't really talk about feelings. He's like a jokester, Like, he's just like a dad.
Typical
dad
Filipino dad.
Yeah.
Right.
So with my dad and me prepping it up to them, I just told both of them, like, it's for GERM. And if you trust me with this process, like, please. Little do they know, I'm like, I don't even know this process. I'm just kind of doing it, But I mean, I had to have faith with it. But my dad, oh my God, like what my dad said, like throughout the entire interview, I know that there are a few things in the sizzle of what he had said, but I just can't wait for people to see what he had said. Like, his interview was the strongest.
Yeah.
And it was the most meaningful. And I think it was because that he's never spoken about a lot of those things. And the fact that he was comfortable enough to do it in front of the camera, that means a lot. Like, honestly, that was like, I'm hella proud of my dad for even bringing that up. Right. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, I respect you way, way more as your kid now that I understand what your perspective on this. And oh man, this fool got so emotional, but it was in the right place. Like, and I knew that was going to come out. Because I mean, knowing mental health and a lot of people like keeping all those like thoughts in within themselves. Mm-hmm. The moment that it like kind of unlocks that, it's gonna blow up. Like they're gonna feel that emotion pretty hard. And so my dad was, I just can't wait.
Well, okay, so as a child of that, because I can't even imagine if that was my dad, I would be like a hot mess after that. Yeah. So for you, let's forward a little bit. Yeah. You've got this process, right? You put this out. I remember when you texted me, you were like, Ate, I have the trailer or the sizzle reel. You want to watch it? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to watch it. Yeah. And I saw it and I was just mind blown. But I do remember a couple of weeks ago, in the middle of all of this, we launched, not only did you launch the documentary and the Seed and Spark campaign, but we also started this podcast, right? Mm-hmm. And then we started the team had started the GERM Doc Instagram. Then we started this Instagram. So there's a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
not only that, so let's combine that with your personal life. Like you've got a lot of things going on, good things. You've been promoted. You're in all of these leadership positions now. So my question to you is, after taking all that in, there was a point where you were just wigging out just a little bit, right? Just a tad.
I felt like I almost lost myself a bit throughout that.
Okay, let's talk about that. What do you mean by that? What made you feel like because you were putting so much of yourself out there?
Yeah.
And I get that. Yeah. As someone who I feel like I belong to a lot of people, which I'm grateful for, but it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot to take that all on. So what happened?
So putting the GERM documentary in the public, that was nerve-wracking because I'm putting my family story out there. I'm not only just representing myself, my family's getting represented at the same time. So I'm thinking, does my family approve of all this? You know, I know that they do, but it's it's just me in my head. Then on top of that, we do this podcast, and there's another hey, this is another thing that I'm representing as well. And that's pressure, you know? And I'm not the type of person on social media to post all the time. Usually I just post other people's music and all that, right? But to do it personally on yourself, it's intimidating. Right. So there's two different avenues. The podcast, which is brand new, and the documentary getting released, that's also brand new. Those feelings, I've never felt that before. So it's amplified by 2. Right. But I just got promoted at the same time as a supervisor role, and it looks like, oh, he's doing great. But low key, I'm like, dude, I'm crying on the inside, because this is tough, because and the type of work that I do too, it's intense, you know, you're dealing with people's lives, and you're going to, I'm going to these other agencies that are in the same field, and it's very serious conversations all the time, and I'm managing a team, I'm trying to train people to be just stellar at their position to help out, and me trying to support them as best as I can. Right. And this is a new region too. I did San Diego for 6-7 years. Now I'm in a brand new area. I don't have the same comfort that I did in San Diego. I have a brand new job, you know?
So you have a lot of discomfort going on, a lot of these new things, putting yourself out. You are a rather private person, for the most part, which I understand, because when your work and your life is about so many other people's lives, you tend to kind of, speaking from experience, you not shrink back on yourself, but because your life involves so many other people, your own personal stuff kind of takes a back seat.
I feel it.
So now it's bam, it's in everyone's face, literally. Out there in the world, people you've never met are seeing your mom and your dad and your cousins on film and all this, and now we're on a podcast. So
exactly.
So it is a lot, and I can understand where there's a moment where you just kind of needed a little check.
Yeah, and that's why I had reached out. Honestly, when I go through those when it's a trigger, because it's really a trigger for me, because it heightens my anxiety to where I can get a little bit closed off, and I'm just I'm reaching for help at this point, and so I reached out because that, one, that you're just someone that I respect, but 2, you're also going on this journey with the podcast, which I'm super grateful for that you're on this road, but it's but I also know that you keep yourself extremely busy. You represent yourself strong in the community. And so I was like, dude, I think you might be the perfect person to, hey, how do you do this? How do you control your emotions? How do you keep yourself centered? And I remember that advice that you gave me, because that was something that I needed to hear just to kind of center myself. Because I was telling my girl, I was like, dude, I'm literally about to cry. This is so much pressure. And the fact that when you were telling me yo, check in on your spiritual side, keep your physical in check, all those pieces of advice that you shared it, and it's that advice is something that I've always heard, but it's reassuring to hear it from people that you need to hear it from, that reminder. You know, you can you can tell yourself that's the pridefulness with people is that, yo, I got this. But sometimes it's okay to be like, but I also need reassurance too. I may have the capability of doing this, but really I just need your advice, you know? So that's why I reached out to you during that time.
All right. So when you had contacted me, because you mentioned you were feeling a little bit lost.
Yeah.
You had put so much of yourself out there, going through a lot of personal things in your life too, and then you had reached out. And so a couple of the things that I had shared with you, there were 3 different things. I think the first one, knowing that you were now in this supervisory leadership role, was number 1, to own that, right? And knowing you and knowing how seriously you take your work and knowing how much you care about other people, I can see where it's a little nerve-wracking now that you're in this position where people count on you.
Yeah.
And with the documentary, you're also being trusted to tell your brother's story, your whole family story, and not to put more pressure on you, but you're telling a story that a lot of us, so many of us have lived through.
Yeah.
And we're hearing that now with the feedback from people.
Yeah.
I, for one, appreciate, again, how you're doing it in such a loving way, though. There are so many documentaries about gangs and gang life and all that, but no one's, I feel, quite doing it in the way that you're all trying to approach it, which breaks it down to who we are as a people, right? The family ties that we have, and the bonds that we have with each other.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important part. But going back to the advice, we talked about that. I talked about you owning your shit and being okay with that. Like, we don't have to be perfect, right? I too have to supervise people. I've managed people. And, you know, I'm fortunate to say a lot of the people that I've ever managed before, years and years ago, I still talk to today. And that, I think, just has more to do with the kind of people that we are and the fact that we actually care about people. We want them to do well. We want them to rise up.
Yeah.
But there was another piece that you had mentioned when we had the conversation around spirituality.
Yeah.
And so this is, I'm a little, now you see me getting a little bit red because this also isn't something I talk a lot about in public.
Yeah.
But this is a very personal, private thing for me. And I told you that when we were having this conversation, right? So in my culture, I come from the Kalinga Bontoc cultures in the Philippines. We're indigenous people from the Philippines.
Yeah.
But not just us. I know a lot of people believe that when our folks pass on, really they're still around all the time. And I was wondering if there was a piece of you that was asking if you for sure were doing the right thing with this, right? In GERM's story.
Yeah.
And so Sienna and I, okay, I'm not going to apologize for my emotions, but it is a lot because you can almost feel when certain spirits are around.
Yeah.
And you can almost feel whether or not they approve or don't approve of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so I would like, not that I'm speaking for your brother, who's already passed on, but one of the things I had shared with you to do is to do a check-in with him too. Right? To check in and say, hey, GERM, are we okay? Are we okay with this? So how was that for you? Because you seem to really resonate with that.
Oh, yeah.
To check in on yourself.
Oh, yeah.
But then to check in with your brother.
Yeah. When it comes to GERM, like I've been praying a lot. Like I'm not very much a religious type of person, but I just have my faith. That's just my practice. I know to each their own and everything like that, but that's just one of those things where it makes me feel centered the most is when I'm able to pray, whether it's to God or even if it's just my brother, like having the combo. Like just like even a couple weeks ago, I went because I'm in Riverside. My brother's actually buried in Riverside as well. So when I was actually in the field, I stopped by, you know, and my grandparents are actually next to him too. And so it was just like, I need to actually visit you guys. I need to check in. Yeah. Cause I don't know how else that, I just need advice, you know, cause me checking in about GERM, I honestly, this is the feeling that I got when I did check in with GERM. Oh, this fool's proud of me, man. I'm still talking about him, you know? Like I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is fine. Like, and regardless if people believe in this or not, that let's say if I had passed away and then I see my brother, he's gonna be like, fool, you did this. That's how I feel. That's honestly how I feel.
Right. Good.
Like, because for me personally, it's like I'm representing him in a way that's not stereotypical.
Right.
And I'm like, that's the right way. Ultimately, that's the core. And I never actually even spoke about this either, was that my brother has a kid. He has a son. His name is DJ. He's never met him. And I want him to understand that GERM, your dad, is not just a statistic. He ain't no gang member or nothing like that. So let me show you a little bit about who he was from my perspective.
Oh my gosh, is it okay for me to ask if he's going to be in the documentary?
Oh, yeah, he's going to be in it. Yeah.
JR just drops all this information. I can't handle this. So just so you all know, this is how JR stresses me out. He will withhold information.
I'll wait until a podcast episode to drop this. I was like, I thought about it too. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't tell you about this yet.
I had always wanted to ask, but you never brought it up. So I just assumed that it didn't happen.
Hey.
So he has a son. You have a nephew.
Yes, yeah. He's in college now. So he was 6 months when GERM had passed away. And so, like, I think,
JR, dude.
I'm
putting this on sound. Fucking JR. Don't be telling us shit and then tells us in the middle of a fucking podcast.
Surprise.
He's not even mentioned in the sizzle. Oh my God.
That's why I'm saying when it comes to like the doc, like I feel like it's gonna be heavy in a positive way, because it's like that's another aspect that I've realized that's gonna hit a lot of people too. There's a lot of things that I feel like I'm expressing to John. I'm like, I think this. What do you think about this piece right here? He's like, yeah, let's include it.
Right.
And because that's how I saw it. That's like another story, by the way, when it comes to my nephew. I'm hoping that you meet him one day too, but he's never actually like opened up and asking. That's why that's going to be a part of the doc, is because my parents get a chance to talk to him about their son.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as the spiritual check-in, I have to check in about that too. It's like, I feel like I'm also like a messenger for GERM to let his son know, like, hey, this is
who you are.
Yeah.
Who he was.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that I do that for him, like, I know we're not as close as we can be, but that's another form of pressure for myself. Some people don't know that exactly. So that's why when I feel all these like types of emotions, that's what's going on in my head. Like, okay, I got to prove this, So yeah, I mean, I know I check in with you. There's a lot of other things I can check in on, but those are like the core of it. It's like my work shit, community shit,
Yeah, there's so much, JR.
Hey. What else?
But I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
What else is there? I don't think I can handle anymore.
We'll save that for the next episode.
Y'all don't understand. Like, I've known this guy for years already, but just in the past couple months, I'm like, holy shit. How much more stuff can you tell me? No, but I appreciate it, and I do, again, just by his spirit kind of being around. I think again, you are doing the right thing, and you're doing it in a way that's loving. I am so excited to hear that he has a child. And let's see how he takes it too. 'Cause your nephew's going to have to go through his own journey of getting to know his dad's story in his way.
Yeah. Right. And I can't wait to like understand his journey too.
While you're on yours.
Yeah.
You're still on yours. This whole process is a big thing for you too. So yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah. I appreciate it. I'm glad that my rambling is beneficial sometimes. Like, it's not always, right? But I appreciate that. And so, for folks out there too, I think it's just a nice reminder that even for people like us who look like we're always on top of our shit, we're not. Mm-hmm. There are always going to be points in life where you're questioning and you're doubting yourself. And that to me is a good thing, because that shows that you have humility and that shows that you care enough to just kind of check in with people. Yeah. That's so important. Yeah. Checking in with everybody else.
It's true. Yeah. It's true.
All right.
Appreciate the conversation today.
Likewise.